Hello, folks, and welcome to the City Beef Podcast once again. It's been a while, I know. I am one of your hosts. If you have forgotten me, I am Gary Hill, and with me tonight is that lovely gal who likes to hear me from Washington State. Is Iris? How you doing, girl?
Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. It's been a while, but we are back.
Yeah, I'm hoping more consistent. I'll talk about that towards the back end of the show, and what you guys should expect from all that. And I'm looking forward to it. So just to be
Me too.
more on the ball. That's what I'm aiming for. But I'll kick off the show the same way we always kick off the show, and I'll ask Iris what she been watching lately.
I have been watching so much. Netflix, I've been, I think I'm like 2 episodes from the end of the first season of Messiah. I did all of Clickbait. That's a good one, people. Go watch that one. The ending is such a twist. Glitch, which is an interesting one. It's like kind of like the Australian version of the 100. You know, people coming back from the dead. And then I've been watching stuff like I finally watched what was the Paranormal Activity, the one out in the woods.
Oh, the brand new one.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
I think Bo was fond of it. I don't. I think I stopped watching this movie at like part 3, but I'm not. I'm not the target audience for the found footage people, so that
You know what? I hate found footage films, but this one was kind of entertaining and stupid. All at the same time. So, you know, I love movies like that.
we're talking about a couple films today like that. You could kind of fun and stupid, at the same time.
Yes, very much so. And of course, Midnight Mask, they had to do that one. The Squid Games. I started one to do the Frankenstein Chronicles. That looks really, really good.
Yeah, this is all on Netflix then.
Yeah, most of the stuff that I've been watching is on Netflix. Amazon kind of has me bored with everything that it has.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, and of course I've watched the latest and greatest for October, the Halloween one and all that. Oh, and then I started getting into 2-sentence horror stories. That one is fun.
Is this like a book or is this TV?
No, it's on Netflix. It's called 2-sentence stories or horror stories.
2 cents horror stories. What? Explain this. I'm not sure what this is.
So it's basically just a bunch of anthologies. Is basically what it is. It's like the very first one is great. Yeah, kind of like, oh, I'm gonna keep watching these. Some are really dumb and stupid, but other ones are really good. There was one that was basically Rangoon. The ring.
Oh, okay. I think it does some kind of pasta or something. It sounded delicious. The Rangoon right there.
The Rangoon. Yum, yum, yum.
Or the Rangoon, perhaps. Maybe the crab Rangoon.
Ringu, that's what it is.
Could be Chinese. I don't know.
Yeah, Behind Her Eyes. That is really good, too.
I watched an anthology like that once. It was Tales of Halloween, where it was like
Oh, yeah.
10 different stories all mixed in. Where if you there's a stinker, they're littered in the stinkers. So if you spend more than 5 minutes on a stinker, a good one's coming soon. So I can see this quick form anthology thing working, and yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, so that's basically what I've been watching. Just stuff on Netflix, and they've got some good shit out there. So
Cool. Oh man, what did I watch? Since we're doing these giant Yeti movies today, spoiler people, I rewatched Rampage because that's
fun.
it's a dumb movie that's fun. It should not work for nothing. If you guys didn't know, it's based on the video game, and the creator had a hand in making the film. He's on set giving input and stuff, and it's based on the climbing the buildings in the city and smashing them up with the ape and the lizard, and the wolf came later, I believe. But this has The Rock in it. They make some kind of genetic stew that makes animals really big. It gets into a zoo enclosure where The Rock works. He's a zoologist in the movie, and George the gorilla gets really, really big. And eventually they come together in the city and break shit up. and it's a film that works. It's really stupid, but it's really fun, and you know me and a man and his monkey. You know, The Rock and George have a nice relationship in this movie, and I like that. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan shows up, and oh, what's her name? Silk Spectre.
Oh, she's a cutie.
I forget. What is her name though? I forget her name now. No, all I'm thinking about is Watchmen, because, you know, Zack Snyder can't do much, but he can film a fuck scene really well. Because,
Indeed he can.
That shit's hot.
I mean, it's no Rudy Ray Moore, right?
No, with the boom mic and all, you know, come on. Yeah. Goddamn Vinegar Syndrome, putting stuff out and make me, I don't have the money for it anyway, but I was thinking about it. Like, hey, you put rent off this week so I could buy this Rudy Ray Moore set from Vinegar Syndrome? Like, no, not doing that. Sorry. Glorious though, people. I watched The Last Duel. That's that 13th century France movie starring.
Oh yeah, with yeah.
Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, who had a hand in the writing and the producing of the film. Which.
And then what was that kid's name?
Adam Driver.
David. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you don't know the story, basically, Matt Damon is a general in the French army who was promised a promotion. His father was a general before him. Was given to Adam Driver's character by I'm not sure, Ben Affleck's King of France or like a Lieutenant of France or something like that. He's like a head chief in France as far as the government goes, and he's all sleazed up with Adam Driver, and they're sleazy. Adam Driver sexually assaults Matt Damon's wife, and it's a big deal it is a very big deal. I'm downplaying that, of course, I shouldn't though, about women's rights, and should she go against a man, and this keeps happening, so of course Matt Damon, every time he goes away, Adam Driver is sleazy, and it leads to the last duel at the end of the movie, and it's I gotta say, Ridley Scott at 80-some years old, stepping away from the Alien franchise and making something good finally, because this is great. The war scenes are brutal. The last duel, the titular last duel is brutal. But I gotta tell you though, if you're a person who was sexually assaulted, or you know a person who's sexually assaulted, don't make them watch this movie, because Adam Driver,
Triggers, huh?
yeah, they don't show like, P going into V, but you could tell he's brutally doing this to her, and she does not want it, clearly. So if you're an abuse victim, I would not recommend watching this movie, because it happens 2 or 3 times during the movie. It's necessary to fuel Matt Damon's rage, I guess. It's not necessary to show all that, I guess, but he's a monster. Ben Affleck's a monster in the movie, and you get a lot of good blood and war scenes, and I think it's a great effort from Ridley Scott, and I hope to see more of this before he leaves this plane of existence. Give somebody else a shot to make more Alien films, and yeah, I'd recommend it, Iris. It's really good.
Sweet, maybe that's what we'll be watching this weekend.
Yeah, it's really terrific. What else? There's stuff here and there. Chucky series is over now, and that was really good. If you follow the Chucky film series, minus the Redux, because if you watch the TV show, it goes in canon with those other films. So if you watch,
cool.
If you watch Cult of Chucky, there are plot points within the series that if you didn't see Cult of Chucky, you don't know how Chucky spread himself out. I'll say, you won't understand what's going on. Let's put it that way. Basically, if you haven't seen it before, Chucky in Cult of Chucky figured out a way to make himself like a hive mind to put his soul in many dolls, and that makes a thing where he puts his soul in Fiona Dorff, who's Brad Dourif's actual daughter, and she's on the run with Tiffany on the show, who's inhabited Jennifer Tilly's body, who they make a play of that, and and it happens in Seed of Chucky, I think, where she possesses Jennifer Tilly, the actual Jennifer Tilly, and that's still a thing. And Andy and well, you hear his voice in the first episode, so it's not a big spoiler. He's back on the show, not as like a every episode thing, but he comes back and makes an impact, and it's a good 8 episodes, and they get into, I don't know if it's for the detriment of the show or for their own personal politics, or I know Don Mancini is a gay man, but they get into the whole gay bullying thing on the show because the kid is like 14 years old that finds the doll, and he's confused about his sexuality because he's gay, but he don't want to let his macho father know that he's gay, and he's bullied for this, and it's a nice touch for the show, but it's one of those things where if I didn't know that Don Mancini was a gay man, I wouldn't say, okay, they just did this just to say, let's include this. But it's a very real problem, so I'm not even going to talk like that. So it's
okay.
It was a nice touch to the show. Why he was so enthralled by Chucky, because he was being bullied by his father and his shitty classmates, and because blah. Kids are dickheads. I didn't know this, until right now, but kids are assholes. Yeah.
Oh my god, kids are cruel. Let me tell you, children are extremely cruel.
And their parents, their parents say, "Hey, ain't nothing wrong with my kid." Yeah, there's a lot wrong with your kid. And you're part of the problem, probably. Just throwing it out there.
Exactly.
Anything else? I didn't watch a whole lot. I watched a whole lot of Don Pleasance movies I was supposed to do reviews for, but I didn't do that again. People, if you ever heard for a while, because I had some problems with cars and my own personal head, and all that's over. As far as me wanting to go back to work now, so you'll get a lot more podcasts out of this guy and this girl right here. You'll be hearing her more at least every 2 weeks on this show.
Right on, right out.
But those Donald Pleasance films, I watched American Rickshaw, which is a film in which a rickshaw driver, and I think it's in San Francisco. He gets in a plot where there's this magical orb thing, and then Donald Pleasance plays an evangelist in the movie who's secretly evil. Of course, they're all evil, of course, but he's actually evil. And he put a curse on this old Asian lady, and it went, by, like, there's a scene where Donald Pleasance is sexually assaulting this woman when she's younger, and it's hilarious to reveal because, and I'm not saying rape is hilarious, but his Asian mask breaks off of his face to reveal his face, and it's just silly.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, yeah. I forget the rest of them. I remember that one, and James Hong shows up, I think, and it's just no, James Hong's not in that movie, but it's just my kind of stupid, and it gets really weird towards the end, where the curse is broken and Donald Pleasance turns into a pig man because whatever, he's a pig. Yeah, I want to start a new segment of the show. We'll talk about that next episode when I can get my head together and make choices for this, but it's basically going to be based around character actors and actors that we love, and celebrating them and giving you 3 films to watch of theirs that may be off the beaten path, but that require more research than I have right now. So I'm waiting till next episode to do that. And Iris, if you want to make your own list, and
oh sure,
yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be a lot of fun to do that, I think.
Yeah, sounds good.
Explore some shit we haven't watched ever, probably, Besides that, today, whatever time zone that you're in, it's tomorrow in Australia, I think it is. But
it sure is.
Yeah. We're going to do some Yeti films because it's getting colder outside, and when I say that, it was 60 degrees today in Indiana.
Oh, fuck you, man.
Yeah, it's December the 2nd, and I hope it's fucking 75 on Christmas. That's all I'll say about that. I'm waiting for the heat wave to come, because by the time the polar ice caps melt, people, I'll be long dead, and all that'll be drowning are millennials, and I'll be fine with that,
Learn to swim, children.
Learn to swim, Karen. Come on now, that woman who, and I was in line at Dollar Tree today. I was going to go get a couple items, and I seen a line full of Karens waiting to get checked out, and I was like, I'll try this another day. Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to go to jail today.
And these were ghetto Karens too. So if if you ever encounter those people, those old lady who wear their hats, after church and come to your restaurants and just berate you in front of everybody. Those people, yeah. Looks like those people. Yeah.
The one that treat the waitress like if they were, their personal help.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't ever do that. People
work hard for their money.
Yeah, they do. Yes, very hard. And I won't get into the food service industry because that could be a whole conversation to do a whole show about. That could
be a whole podcast, dude.
Goddamn people, I swear. But we're doing some Yeti films tonight. We're doing Shriek of the Mutilated from 1974. It's a very low budget, Yeti in the mountains. Supposedly, we'll talk about that when we talk about that. In 1970,
are we spoiling it?
We're gonna spoil it because I don't want to watch that movie. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about Yeti, giant of the 20th century from 1977. After that one, that one's a little more fun than the first one.
It's a little creepy though. It's a little pedo.
Oh yeah, just a little bit. Oh god, we'll talk about the come and fuck me eyes. From both of them. Yeah. But Shriek of the Mutilated first. Here's the trailer. See you in a minute.
But you will never forget the Shriek of the Mutilated. The abominable snowman, the Yeti, or is it? A scientific expedition that turns into a nightmare for all but a few, with the surprise ending of the year.
Sometimes it almost sounds like something human.
Find anything out there?
Well, Dr. Prell thinks we might.
Oh, Prell's got a thing about snowmen. The trouble is that people believe that garbage of his can get themselves in trouble.
It's the damnedest thing, Ernst. If it isn't a Yeti, I can't imagine what it could be.
I could see it as it was chewing the flesh of Tom's leg.
Honey, stop treating me like a child!
Will you stop acting like one? Dr. Prowl brought you on this mission for a reason.
This is not for the weak. This is truly the Shriek of the Mutilated.
Shriek of the Mutilated from 1974. Rated R, I have no idea why. We'll talk about that. It's just a lot of clawing and mauling and whatever. Directed by Michael Finlay. Let's see what else Michael Finlay has made besides this. Yeah, that was bad. He got killed in a helicopter accident. But it seems like he made a lot of exploitation stuff before this, including The Touch of Her, The Curse of Her Flesh, The Kiss of Her Flesh, Funk from 1976, and then he was an actor in some stuff, including one where he used decapitation something or other. I don't know. Who cares? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this film, which is Shriek of the Mutilated, like I mentioned. Your basic plot synopsis is this. A group of college students are led by the professor into the mountains in search of a Yeti. The students start to be killed off one by one. Yeah. Yeah, hippie white children, in college, they get in a van with this strange dude who is in a strange cuisine, told not to go there by some freaking crazed dude, which is probably the best part of the whole movie, is this crazed dude who was his student, I guess the chosen one. Before that, we'll get into that, because we're going to spoil this movie, because you guys shouldn't watch it. And it leads to the best part of the movie, where he supposedly saws his wife's throat with a bread knife and does a really bad job, because she's able to crawl to the bathtub where he's cleaning himself and put the toaster in the bathtub. Yeah.
With the world's longest toaster cord.
Yep. She's real good at that too, man. But yeah, that's the best part of the movie. Now let's get to the meat and bones of the movie. Yeah, this professor brings them into the mountains to I guess go for a hike and look for this Yeti that may or may not exist. Spoiler, it doesn't exist. You know, in this movie it don't anyway. But I'll kick it to Iris. Iris, what are your thoughts on Shriek and the Mutilated?
Okay, so this movie, first of all, it is not what you expect it to be. I think it's more of a Wendigo movie instead of a Yeti, because of the, well, we're going to spoil it, because of the cannibalism.
I didn't think about that, but this movie's not that smart anyway. But yeah, continue. You know.
So, like Gary was saying, you got a group of people. It's one of those group of people in a cabin, monster, you know. But the monster was cute. It was so cute. It reminded him of a puppy. But anytime it shows up, you're like, "Aw." At least I was. I don't know.
He did look like a giant bipedal sheepdog. This thing.
Yes,
you know?
It was kind of like, "Oh, aren't you cute?"
You want to scratch him behind the ears? Yes, you do. You know.
Yeah. You know, it reminds me of the monster in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And see, the problem with this movie, like the one part you were talking about with the very long cord and the bathtub tossing it into the toaster thing, right? So there are, I think, from what I remember, two kind of like styles of this movie, or versions, I should say. One, Fred Olen Ray was able to get the permissions for this and put it on a DVD with, I believe, another movie. But come to find out, it seemed like there was a whole stretch of stuff that needed to be in the movie, but the movie was just so, the film was just so jacked up that they couldn't fix it. So they kind of just put that part in there because, I mean, it's in the movie, right? So you want to, oh, here you go. Let's see, but besides that, a lot of the kills and stuff, those were interesting. You got good gore, you got good blood, and the story itself, it has a huge plot twist at the end. Because you come in, like, Gary, you and I, the first time I watched this, you come into the movie thinking, it's a Bigfoot, basically. It's a white Bigfoot, right? And you're watching this movie and you're like, oh yeah, look, dude, yeah, right on. And you can clearly tell sometimes, you can see the tennis shoes when the monster's running around sometimes. But then, come to find out, yeah, it was just a guy in a suit. It really wasn't a Yeti out there. Because you have a satanic cult that is out there luring people in with this Yeti story so they could do their sacrifices and enjoy a meal. That's basically your movie.
I would love to say, for no reason, but they have that whole scene where Professor Prell picks his favorite student out of the crowd, the chosen one who's going to be...
The chosen one, right.
I guess he's going to be a part of their group, or they're going to eat him. I don't fucking know. But he takes him to a restaurant and gives him something that's not on the menu, which is a collection of meats, as he calls it,
Yeah, the ginseng.
The ginseng. And when he tells him that that's what he ate, he, grabs his gut. But this was, 2 days ago when he ate it. It's like, you wouldn't feel pain, idiot, from eating whatever you ate,
Yeah, you've had flesh.
You've had flesh before. You had lots of flesh before. If I were to, then I'm not a cannibal myself, but if I were to serve Iris some human meat and not tell her about it till 3 days later, guess what you just ate 3 days ago, honey?
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
How do you feel? Oh God, this movie.
Well, I already shit it out, so I don't know.
Exactly right. He would have. So him grabbing his stomach and it's like, oh, I feel so bad, my stomach. Oh no, you'd feel bad in your head for what you did. Your stomach would be just fine because you shat out all the human meat that you ate, and
Yeah, sure. Which is, it's hilarious and silly, but the stigma and the taboo, of eating human flesh. I have this cute little story.
Go for it.
Okay, so I was I was painting my miniatures, and I was painting a whole bunch of zombies. And little Victor comes out to where I'm painting, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm sad, and I was eating some jerky. And he says, "So what you doing, Grandma?" And I'm like, "I'm painting my zombies." And he goes, "What you eating?" I said, "Human flesh. You want some?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah." Like, dude, what is wrong with you?
Because that is your
know any better.
That is your grandson. That is why.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, so it was my grandson, right?
Yes.
But see, he didn't know any better because it wasn't taboo to him yet, right? About eating human flesh.
Michael Finlay plays decapitation onlooker. Apparently, he looks at he's a passerby. Apparently, I don't fucking know. Continue.
So there's this stigma about eating human flesh because, of course, you don't. We as a Western civilization, that's not the thing that you do. But in other civilizations, it's like, okay, yeah, it's meat is meat. But in this movie, I kind of like the take on this because I didn't think about the Wendigo until this time around that I watched it. Because I'm like, okay, well, they are cannibals. And why couldn't it? It's winter, so why couldn't it be a Wendigo type of movie? Because, you've got the Laughing Crow, which is the Native American and all that. So there's that little bit of a native twist to it. So, I don't know. But is the movie entertaining? Fuck yeah. It is entertaining. It's fun to watch. The acting is just so wooden. Not even funny.
Can we talk about Laughing Crow for a minute?
Oh, yes, please. Let's talk about Laughing Crow.
The Native American houseboy who looks Jewish, It just does. He looks nothing like a Native American, Burt Reynolds and Navajo Joe looked more Native American than this guy did. And yeah, it was bad. Oh, I'm sorry. Continue though. You were talking.
So, is the movie entertaining? Yes, it is entertaining. It's highly entertaining because it's just so dumb. If I remember correctly, I believe that it was just a couple of maybe $100,000, if that.
Yeah, it didn't cost much to make, I'm sure.
Is what they had for this movie to do, and it's not bad. And for it to in the end go gotcha, I got to give the movie some respect for that. It's got
a great closing line.
Oh yeah.
Where they're gonna have their feast, and Laughing Crow is holding one of those electric knives, and he asks, "Do you want light meat or dark meat?" Yeah.
I'm like, oh, good one.
It's like this human flesh come in two colors. I don't never rate it myself, but I'd imagine Laughing Crow is experienced in the role of cutting up human bodies for consumption. So he knows more. He knows more than I do.
But yeah, for me, it's a fun movie. When we did it, I gave it a D. But watching it again, I had more fun with it. So yeah.
It does a good job of giving you fodder that you don't really give a shit about, like hippies with guitars and stuff that you want to die.
Oh my god, yeah, let's have a kumbaya moment. Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
And then they fucking die, and you find out why is because these people, where they have every stereotype you could think of. They have the African tribal, chief there. They have, the bald guy who's clearly like a member of the Church of Satan or something like that. And, they celebrate Saturnalia, which if you don't know what that is, it's a ancient Roman pagan festival honoring the agricultural god Saturn, which has nothing to do with eating human flesh, I'm sure. But,
no.
Yeah, it's just something they threw in there. And, I guess I could appreciate that this takes place in mid-December and it may be cold where they're at. And I guess that's why the Yeti is going to come out to play or not come out to play, because they make it a big point to say, I have a suit that fits me and he has a suit that fits him. We've been playing this Yeti role and blah, blah, blah. Because when he takes the head off, you're like, oh, what the fuck
right,
is
I know.
What
and
the fuck?
All of a sudden, it's the very young John Carpenter.
It's like, what the fuck is going on now? And you find out it's this whole other plot, okay, this is why would kill everybody off anyway so they could consume them. And I guess it made the movie better because it put a topper on it to say, this is why we did the things we do. But then again, this professor still has to go back to his college and say, hey, you know, when you went there, you had 5 22-year-olds, but now you have now you just have the one. You know, so what happened here? Nothing, man.
I failed them all, and they went home.
The Yeti got them. Yeah.
Right. It's like, well, Professor, you know, every time you go, the Yeti gets the kids. Maybe you should quit going.
Yeah. They find no traces of the body, and, you know, the professor says, just look at my toilet, you'll find some traces of it, because, you know, there's some of the little Karen there, there's some of this one there, there's some of that one there, you know.
Yeah, so, you know, that's why he would say, you know, did you want some dark meat or white meat?
Oh, yeah. Was there even a black girl in the group? I don't recall, you know, they were so interchangeable, but that would have been funny if they had a black girl in there just to make it extra racist with Laughing Crow doing the carving, you know. Which you're gonna have the Native American carve up the meat, you know, like here's a take on how friggin' bad Thanksgiving is for those people. So they're gonna say, hey, yeah, this Native American person who looks like he's Jewish should carve up this meat now, and yeah.
Well, but you know, it is. I mean, if you want to watch a movie that's going to entertain you, but yet you're going to go, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. By all means, watch this movie.
Because I can almost guarantee you're going to forget half what we said by the time you choose to watch this movie. So,
yep,
it'll be new to you. And I got to say the biggest thing, because it was on the version that I watched on Tubi. It's on Tubi, and if you want to, it's on Shout TV. If you have one of those things, I heard Tubi doesn't exist in the UK. But the song Popcorn by Stan Free, yeah. Mm-hmm. That one. And they're actually consuming popcorn while they're playing the popcorn song for some reason. They're having some weird white person's dance party with popcorn. I don't know. Again, they're white people, okay? You know. They're having a party, they're dancing badly, they have their guitars out. These are people that you want to die. What they're playing they're playing this popcorn song.
They have.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, they've got raisins in their potato salad. You know, shit like that.
These are people who put raisinets in their popcorn at the movie theater and just says, "Hey, you want a bite?" Like, no, you ruined the popcorn, man. You know, sweet and salty. No, but they you know what I'm talking about. Come on now, you know. I can't use the phrase those savages that dip their fries in their Frosty at Wendy's because Jamie does that. I don't want to diss Jamie.
But see, that's good.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I love doing that.
But yeah, they apparently there was a rights issue for that song, and it's been removed from home video releases, but it was on the version that I watched. Who can give a shit, you know, because it's white people having a party and dancing badly, and, you know, sometimes it's entertaining because there's a murder afterwards, like in Dead Kids or Strange Behavior, there's a scene where white kids are dancing in unison badly, and somebody gets murdered after, so there's a payoff. Not in this movie, you know, but...
No, but, you know, like I said, it's a fun movie. And, you know, but every movie deserves to be watched because somebody did put their heart into it somewhat. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I forgot to mention they got the Harbinger, they got, you know, kind of telling them not to go, but telling them to go at the same time. And yeah, it's fun. I can't say I'd watch it again like right away because there's other movies that are better than this movie that have a monster in the woods, and
Yep.
But if you were to give it a 1 to 10 rating, what would you give it?
I'm gonna give it a 6. You know, I'm gonna give it a little kind of like a C+, because this time I did enjoy it a little bit more. I had forgotten some of the scenes, and as it started going through, I was like, oh, I remember this ending. Well, I mean, you know, it's fun.
Well,
it's
when you get to the ending, like, yeah, you kind of remember if you've seen it before. Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say I'm gonna give this a 6.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go middle of the road with you and I'm gonna go with a 5, because if we didn't have this discussion, my score would have been more like a 3. Let's put it that way.
You know, and that's I find that that's so funny that because when you watch something, you're like, what the fuck did I watch? But when you start talking about it, you're like, it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
Putting all the little pieces together that they, intentionally or unintentionally used, And, oh man, it's decent, y'all. You should check it out at least one time. You can watch it for free on Shout Factory TV or on Tubi. So go check it out. But up next, we're gonna do another film with a giant Yeti this time around, which is basically a giant man covered in hair. But
with the saddest eyes.
With the saddest eyes or the dreamiest eyes. We're going to talk about this because it gets kind of creepy. But with the Yeti giant of the 20th century, right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm just a caveman. I fell in some ice and later got thawed out by some of your scientists. Your world frightens and confuses me. Sometimes the honking horns of your traffic make me want to get out of my BMW and run off into the hills or whatever. Sometimes when I get a message on my fax machine, I wonder, did little demons get inside and type it? I don't know. My primitive mind can't grasp these concepts. But there is one thing I do know. When a man, like my client, slips and falls on a sidewalk in front of a public library, then he is entitled to no less than $2 million in compensatory damages and $2 million in punitive damage.
Yeti Giant of the 20th Century, original title, Yeti Il Gigante del 20 Degrees Secolo. There we go, never mind. From 1977. I ain't doing that no more. Italian King Kong ripoff people. Directed by Gianfranco Parolini. And there's a cool dog in this movie, but yeah, we're getting to this right now. Your chief plot synopsis is Professor Wasserman is asked by industry magnate Morgan Honeycutt to lead an expedition to study the giant Yeti creature found frozen in a large ice block. Where else? Canada. But this has got a bunch of folks that I don't know who the hell they're from, but I'm sure it's got a lot of Italian character actors that I'm not aware of. But this is a fun one, kind of. Yeah, this is a better plot line. They found him off the Newfoundland coast. Yeah, he's all frozen with black eyes. Iris, I'm gonna ask you again. What'd you think of this wonderful hairy man in this movie?
Okay, so this is pretty much a man in an ape suit, and you know how Mike and I just love these movies.
I don't think it was an ape suit. You just put a bunch of hair on him.
Well, yeah, in very strategic places. First of all, I have to talk about the miniature work on this because it's pretty spot on. I enjoy the miniature work that they did on this, and also some of the perspective camera work was done very well. And other times you're like, what the fuck am I seeing? But the storyline is, well, we know it, Beast gets awoken, falls in love with girl and family, and wants to protect them. That's basically what it is. And then Beast gets exploited for money. Boom. There's your movie. Some of the elements on this, though, are they're kind of creepy. Because first you have Jane. And I don't know, Jane to me seems like she's maybe at the oldest 18.
Maybe.
Hey?
She looks like Melissa Sue Anderson from Little House.
Right.
But
so
it's not her, though.
Are you 16? Are you 17? Because, that's what you look like. And she has a little brother. Her parents were killed in an auto accident, and her little brother Herbie.
Yep, Herbie
doesn't
with the bow tie.
doesn't
Yep.
talk. Yeah, he just doesn't talk because he's been, it was traumatic, so it kind of made him mute. And then there's this guy named Cliff, and he seems to be kind of like the action guy. Dun dun. And apparently, Cliff is a complete asshole, and a bit of pedo because he kind of stares at this girl just a little too hard.
Yeah,
And at one point,
this girl stared at a lot in this movie. We'll get into that more. Then I'm sorry. Continue.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's good looking,
and she does some staring of her own. We'll get into that too. Yeah,
she does. I mean, it's not kind of like it's not like she's not inviting it, but hello, she is still a child. It looks like. So monster comes in. The way they melt the monster, that was pretty good. I enjoyed that. You can clearly tell that there was, a lot of overimposed and overexposed film, which was kind of interesting to see. But what I enjoy about this is that you're seeing a lot of the technology that they had at the time was being used well. But then again, we go back to the plot, in which is, the monster, they wake him up, he sees, okay, so when they wake up the monster and he starts moving around, he breaks out of his plexiglass cage. I mean, like, what makes you think plexiglass is going to open?
Let's talk about this, okay? They built this cage for him so they could thaw him. This cage / plexiglass, which has, like, a hose at the top to let in the heat and let in sedatives if he wakes up, but it's being transported by a helicopter.
Right,
which is irresponsible transport people.
Thousands of, it's like, first of all, a helicopter wouldn't get that high. But anyway, so this thing breaks out and everybody runs, right? Everybody tramples over the two kids and leaves them there.
They give no fucks about these kids, yeah.
None. Which I was like, damn, people. But, it's Beauty and the Beast. He kind of entertains, I guess, the thought or something. The professor says, oh, maybe you, as in Jane, remind him of his wife, and Herbie reminds him of his son. You guys remind him of his family. And what was the deal with the nipple popping out? Oh my God!
It was winking at her. It was creepy as shit. I don't know, man.
I was like, what is all that about?
It's like, hey, let me show you what I can do with my nipple. You turned on,
And we're not talking about the girl's nipple. We're talking about the monster's nipple, okay? And that is not a euphemism. It is the actual nipple. You see it pop out. Like, oh, look at that. She touched it.
It turns into an innie and to an outie in a scene of this movie. And it's creepy as shit. Because he's like, she's staring at him. He's staring at her. And all of a sudden you see his nipple just... And you're like, okay. You see what I can do? Are you turned on there, Jane?
Woo. But yeah, they again, monster gets taken into the city, and flashes occur. Shit happens, right? She, of course, is trying to protect him, and there's bad guys who are trying to kill him. And yeah, I'm not going to spoil the movie, but it was a very interesting version of King Kong. I mean, we had, our beloved Lady of Perpetual Beauty, Jessica Lange, in 1976. And this one was 1977. So obviously there was a bit of oh, look, they did that. Let's just, tweak it a little.
Typical Italians, like tweaking the nipple. See, the inside out nipple.
See, boop, there it goes. And then it goes pop.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, it was like total turkey popper thing.
Oh my God. Turkey's done, baby.
It was.
It was cold in that ice, I want to show you some tricks I learned, baby.
Yeah. So yeah, But I had fun with this movie. I really, really did. I enjoyed it a lot more than Shriek of the Mutilated. Um, and again with the face, those sad eyes. It's like, ugh, are they bedroom eyes? Kind of. Also,
Kind
I
of.
don't know.
Oh God, I'll get into that right now because it's been creeping me out since I watched that movie.
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
Jane, who the professor described as, he recognizes her as, I don't even know what he recognizes her as, but there's parts in this movie where Jane is looking at this monster, like like Sally Hawkins is looking at the fish man in Shape of Water, like she wants to fuck him.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Thank you.
I don't know why this is a thing in this movie, because his whole body's covered in hair, so you don't get to see if his dick is proportionate to his body or his asshole, for that matter. I guess she's wanting to know what's going on down there because she's giving these come and fuck me eyes through like 60% of this movie with her little, this is why I didn't know it was a brother. If I didn't hear his name was Herbie, because this is a very asexual brother. It
Yes.
looks kind of like a girl in a lot of ways. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you watch the film, you don't know the kid's name, you might think it's a girl. But anyway, back to the inappropriate, gawking at each other because you say, "Oh, he has sad eyes, kind of bedroom eyes," but she's really pushing the subject. Like, yeah, if I flash these baby blues at you, you're gonna do what I say, and it's really strange.
He's so gentle. I'm like, is he now?
Is he now? Is the Yeti's intentions true? The 20 to 25 foot tall Yeti, Here we go. Throughout the film, the Yeti's height changes drastically. Presumably at the beginning of the film, he seems about 20 to 25 feet tall, but in Toronto scenes, he can seem to be about 50 feet tall because...
Yeah, right, because he's like almost as tall as some of the buildings. Yeah.
He's climbing, but which, if I give a fault to this movie, I wish I had more of him, trampling the city, but, budget's a budget, and... what you saw with the miniatures looked really, really good. While he's looking for Jane, he's just destroying an elevator, and which she was in the whole time, which she held on for a really long time, too. I was waiting for Jane to fall, and she does. And he catches her because she wants
And
to
she would have died, but, it's a movie, right?
So they snapped her fucking neck. Once he hit that giant, she had that giant, that giant hand, But, what the Yeti did for love, is all I'll say about that. He destroyed Toronto to go save his beloved Jane,
His beloved wife.
his beloved future wife, his tiny wife. She got to wade through all that hair to get to his business. I don't want to talk about it. She's.
Oh yeah, okay. Talking about hair, that was hilarious with that huge piece of fish. The fish bones kind of like. Starts combing her hair because at some point the monster right at the beginning was kind of he does that little head cock thing that it's cute in puppies but weird on him. And I'm like,
because he's a giant man with hair all over his body,
right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, so are you staring at her hair because it looks good and you want some hair care tips? I mean, what's going on here, buddy? Because you should not be staring at that child that way.
No. That's a problem in this movie, but I don't know if it's intentional or unintentional, but whatever, man. Yeah, the model work, like Iris says, really done really well. The story progresses along, because once they defrosted this Yeti, his health began to deteriorate throughout the film, and to the point where he passes out from exhaustion. He needs oxygen, and of course, he's spry just in time to save the day because it's found out early that the Yeti doesn't like guns. He doesn't know what they are, but he finds out pretty fast what guns are, and they whack somebody pretty important. And of course, this upsets the Yeti because he's familiar with this person, and he's got to tear some shit up, obviously.
Yep.
And yeah, those parts are really fun. And there's a theme song in this movie, a Yeti theme song.
Oh my god.
Which is phenomenal. Oh my god.
By the Yetians?
Yeah, played by the Yetians, yes. And I want to have this on my phone to listen to because it's awesome. But like I said, films like Rampage, films like, you know, any big monster movie, you know, they all owe a debt to King Kong, and this one owes a big debt to King Kong, especially because you got literal fat cat. He's a fat guy. Morgan Honeycutt, you know, brings him. Daddy Warbucks brings him to Toronto to unveil him with one of my favorite parts of this movie. I forgot to mention this. Is the merchandising scene. Where they're all going Yeti crazy, all the people in the streets, and then my favorite part is when the girls walk out of the store, they have the Yeti t-shirts with the Yeti hands over their titties, the blue Yeti hands. You can sell that t-shirt on the street today, people would buy it, okay?
Oh,
you know?
Hell yes.
It's tacky as shit, but you know, I just think it's so hilarious how he got all this merchandise going right away. All he was missing was the monocle and like a cigar sticking out of his mouth. This guy.
Yep. I think it was basically the a satirical character of probably U.S. Canadian / capitalism. It's basically what he was.
And this is what would happen. You know, I can't say this isn't what would happen if some rich person got a hold of a giant ape. They would.
That's what's going to happen.
It would either get cut in little pieces or it would get exploited, just like this guy was, and he was not happy when he got there. And they had the marching bands and the fucking people and the flashes, and they lose the shit, of course. And again, biggest flaw of the film. I wish I had a little more of that, but it was good for what it was, and which is this forced perspective. Low, but you could tell the budget was low. Because it had like little scenes where it looked really bad, the forced perspective, but it's my kind of stupid, and so I'll say that.
Exactly.
And it's kind of rapey for no reason. I don't know what that.
I know. I was expecting Vic Diaz to stop, kind of like walk out. I'm like, dude, make a little rapey here.
Vic Diaz, waka waka, little fat dude just staring at him like, yeah, you get it, Yeti, yes,
Oh my god! But yeah, it's such a fun. I don't know. To me, it was fun. It was, and you kind of. I mean, I don't want to say you kind of get emotionally invested.
You do though, because especially with the ending. The ending is very sad.
Mm-hmm. The ending is sad.
Where basically they tell him he doesn't have a place here, so he basically goes to go refreeze himself at the end of this movie. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of sad, because him and Jane kind of, But by hook or crook, broke up or created a bond, whether it's sexual or non-sexual, it's still very sad,
Mm-hmm. And the bad guy, he gets his due justice at the end.
Yep. Yes, he does. But that's a bit. You can watch this on Tubi as well. You can go watch it for free with some ads. Go check it out
and
there.
It's not that bad, because that's how I watched it. I watched it on Tubi.
Yeah, there's lots of goodies on Tubi, man.
No, yeah, I know. I was looking at that.
But, check it out. Iris, 1 to 10, what will you give it?
Oh, I'm giving this an 8, because I really liked it.
Yeah, I give it a 7. It's got its flaws, and there's films that obviously done this better. But I had a great time watching it. I can't say I was bored through any of it, even through... Again, another little flaw in the movie. I think the whole defrosting process of our creature here took a little long. That's why it's an hour 45 minutes.
Yeah, that was unnecessary.
It was a little long in that sense, but that's the only real flaw I can really see in the movie is that. But besides that, it's my kind of movie, and you have to rate it in the genre that it lives in. Which is this kind of movie. So it's 7 out of 10. And
right on. Go
check it out, guys. But right after this, we're going to come back and close out the show.
This'll keep it quiet. Oh, hi there. I didn't see you. You caught me cutting a new show. I'm Bo Ransdell, and I'm one of the many creators you can find on Legion Podcasts. I said quiet! My fellow podcasters and I work hard to bring you the best in horror podcasting, but that comes at a cost.
Wouldst thou like to live deliciously?
Not that, but also yes. No, what I'm getting at is that there are server costs, costs for good microphones and software for editing, all the things that make our shows, fun to listen to. And you can help. If you're enjoying the shows on legionpodcasts.com or in the Legion Network available on iTunes and Stitcher, just about anywhere you can download a podcast, really, you can help us out and get a little something for your trouble at patreon.com/Legion Podcasts. For just $2 a month, you get a pair of movie commentaries exclusive to Patreon, and for $5, you can also join us for a monthly screening of a movie. All of that available on patreon.com/Legion Podcasts. We appreciate it, and thank you for listening. Now, back to the cutting room.
Iris, baby!
Jace.
Thank you for coming on and hearing me for a while and talking about some films with me. We're going to make this more of a habit. Like every 2 weeks, we're going to make this a habit for us to come together.
I'm all for it, man.
Always a pleasure, baby. You know this.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Same here, Birdie, man. Same here.
You're still doing the BB and BC thing. Anything coming up with that girl?
So, yes, it's going to be fun. Exploitationfilm.com. That's where you can find BB and BC. We do kind of like this one, 2 a month. And the one's coming up is Blood Rage.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we were supposed to record in time for Thanksgiving, but, people's schedules and stuff, So we're recording actually this Saturday, so it'll drop this Sunday that's coming.
Do it.
And, I'm going to have fun with that movie because that's such a stupid-ass movie. I love it.
It's not cranberry sauce, man.
That's not cranberry sauce. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, yeah, the guys and I were going to discuss that one. I think it's going to be fun to discuss. And I'm going to try and convince Mike that this is a good film.
It's got a twist to it. If you haven't seen Blood Rage, that I can appreciate. And not just the twist at the beginning, but the twist at the very end. Because it keeps you guessing the whole time.
It sure does.
And Louise Lasser is the mother in the film, and she's just outrageously crazy.
She's perfect with her character. It's like, all right, Mary Hartman had kids.
Yeah, yes, she did. Yes. Oh, if you haven't watched Blood Rage, go watch Blood Rage. I'm sorry, people, but
yeah, if you have Prime, it's free.
Nice. Very nice. Me and the guys from Last Call of Torchies, we record a new episode this upcoming Wednesday, which is The Long Riders. It was next up at the Walter Hill Pantheon, and we're going to record 2 that day, which is, the other one's the bonus Patreon episode. If you're a member of Legion Patreon, please hop on there. And you'll get exclusive content from that show, where we are going to review The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, which features Brad Pitt and Casey Affleck and some other ones. And that was Lee's choice. Next episode would be Southern Comfort for Torchies, and that will be Cameron's choice. And Iris, you're welcome to come on if you want to come on. I heard you say, ooh, so you're welcome to come on and guest if you want to.
Send me the stats later.
Just say the word, baby. 2 Drink Minimum commentaries. We'll be back very soon. We record episode this Sunday, actually, at least one, which is the action exploitation film Kill Squad is going to be the commentary for that. And the one after that or before that, I forget which order we're recording them in, will be The Visitor, which is a crazy movie with Franco Nero and a young Lance Henriksen. It's a good one. It's a wild one. And after that, the Roadhouse duology is going to happen eventually for 2 Drink, and you might get one of those once a week. We'll see how we go. We're recording on that one. My goal of goals is to get something out to you guys once a week. At least once a week. So you get this one every 2 weeks. You get Torches every 2 weeks. You might get a Burning for Springwood in the same week of one of those. You'll definitely get a 2 Drink Minimum commentaries in the week of one of those. It's all mixed in, guys. And I hope you guys are gonna enjoy the not so hard work that we put into these shows, because I always said when I started this in I think 2004. It was a long time ago.
Yes.
That if it felt like work, I'm not going to do it anymore. And it hasn't felt like work yet. It's just more stuff in my head I've been fighting. This has nothing to do with this. This is therapy, people. I love this, and
Yes, it is. I have to agree with you.
So if you I forgot, I did a guest spot on Ricky's show, Dr. Movie, where we did The Legend of Hillbilly John, which I wish we discussed this, how crappy the copy is that's on YouTube, and there's really no other option. But Iris, this is a film you would enjoy, and I think you should check it out and go check out our episode of The Legend of Hillbilly John on Dr. Movie. But the print is really crappy on YouTube, but it's backwoods folklore, and it's delightful, and it's got some great character actors in it that you know, and oh man, it's something else. But I'll leave it at that. This has been the Sin Beef Podcast, where if you've got beef, we've got the grinder. See you next time.
Ta-da!